And hello, one and all, and welcome to my weekly review for NXT. We're going to take a look at everything that took place on this week's edition of NXT, the September 21st edition for 2016. I have to say this is definitely a better episode compared to the ones that we have been getting from NXT. Overall, I enjoyed the hour from start to finish. It was a perfect no, but like I said, compared to the last couple of editions, ever since the fallout from TakeOver Brooklyn, I felt like this was really a return to form for NXT. Pretty good stuff to talk about on this show, so without further ado, let's take a look at what took place on NXT. So how do we kick things off this week? We, of course, have Samoa Joe. After his vicious beatdown on Shinsuke Nakamura, Joe brought out this medical report, and he said he obtained a copy of Nakamura's medical records, and he said that Nakamura's injuries, he read off the list of them. He said they won't require surgery, but he demanded, I love this, he demanded William Regal come out and either he, strip Nakamura of the title and give it to Joe. Joe wanted that title back, and he'll do anything that it takes to reclaim the NXT Championship, and that just helps further add to the prestige for somebody like a Joe. He will stop at nothing in order to regain that title. And obviously this is building toward a rematch between Nakamura and Joe. Regal came down, walked out on the ramp. He said that, okay, the injury report is true, but he hasn't had a chance to talk to Nakamura. And he said, you know how Nakamura is, not the most normal of individuals, so you don't know what's going on inside his head. Regal said, Joe, that the problem that you caused, Joe will fix it. Regal tells Joe that the problem that Joe caused, Regal will fix. There, got mixed up on my words there, apologize. And Joe said he didn't want to have to come to this. He went right up to Regal, took the medical note that he had in his hand, said that until he gets what he wants, he will hurt every single person on the NXT roster. And he tucked the note into Regal's shirt. Regal just had this look of, what do I have to do now? What move do I have to make next to stop this madman, the Beast, Samoa Joe, who is on a tear right now? Can't wait for him to get up to the main roster. But this was a really, really good, strong opening segment. Love the way it kicked off NXT. Backstage, we had an interview with Cedric Alexander. Really like this guy. Just love his enthusiasm, his athletic ability. He's definitely going to be a star of the Cruiserweight division on Raw and possibly on NXT, seeing as how he made his NXT debut tonight in a match against Cien Almas. And he talked up how, he said tonight he is there to prove everyone who told him he would never make it wrong. Then we had a backstage interview with Liv Morgan. She talked about calling out Asuka, and it is official next week. It'll be Liv Morgan versus Asuka, so we'll see what Liv Morgan can do. Asuka is undefeated. She is the top female on NXT, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. Asuka interrupts and simply asks Morgan if she is really ready, gives her that devious-looking smile, and then walks away. So, like I said, women's division is in a period of rebuilding, so we're going to have to see where they go with that in the weeks and months to come. We then had what I thought was a solid match between Austin Aries and Oney Lorcan. I really thought these two had some pretty good chemistry together. There was some nice... I really liked the intensity that Lorcan displayed, doing the knife-edge chops right to Aries, and then, he continued. I really liked how he used the side headlock in a number of different ways. Aries dove through, was trying to come through the ropes, and he locked in the side headlock. And it was something different you don't usually see, so I have to give credit to Lorcan for implementing that offensive maneuver of consistently going back to the side headlock and neutralizing Aries whenever he tried to get back on his feet. Eventually, Aries picked Lorcan up and dropped him tailbone first on the apron, so that was a nice spot right there. And towards the end of the match, Aries he picked Lorcan up for the suplex. He dropped him forward onto a stiff knee right into the face, and then locked in the last chancery for the win. Afterwards, Aries got on the mic. He said, "I'm not afraid of Hideo Itami, but if you did call him out, he wouldn't show up, period." Itami's music hits, Tommy gets in the ring, and Aries, like the coward that he is, doesn't back it up. He leaves the ring, and Itami stares him down. So I'm really looking forward to seeing where the build goes between Austin Aries and Hideo Itami. I think that would be a nice match for the next NXT TakeOver special. If they can wait that long, it's hard to believe it'll be here in less than 2 months, but in Toronto. So we'll have to see where the build and feud overall goes for between Austin Aries and Hideo Itami. But I've been enjoying it so far. We then had a match between Aaliyah versus Billie Kay. The match itself was alright, like I said. Billie Kay, I feel like, is starting to establish herself on NXT. Aaliyah, obviously a new face. We've seen her before, but like I said, give these women time, and I think eventually they will be able to establish who they are, and we will see the next crop of women rise to the top for NXT and the future of the WWE Women's Division. But Aaliyah ran right into the big boot of Billie Kay, and Billie Kay picked up the win. So her stock continues to rise, and I definitely see something in here, see something in both of these women, so we'll have to see where they go moving forward, but that's pretty much all I have to say about this match. We then had what I thought was a pretty good match between Cedric Alexander and Andreas Cien Almas. I thought for sure Almas, at the end of this match might turn on Cedric Alexander, but he didn't turn heel, but you could definitely see a level of frustration showing from Almas, and I definitely think at this point a heel turn would benefit him. I think it would give him something, because the crowd's kind of booing him a little bit, somewhat, so I think he's a really good worker, but at this point there really hasn't been much else that stands out from him in NXT, but I just see the potential in turning him heel, so we'll have to see if that comes to fruition. Like I said, I don't read spoilers or anything, but that's what I'd like to see. But yeah, I thought this was a really good debut for Cedric Alexander. He got a hero's welcome from the Full Sail crowd, of course. Had that great match with Kota Ibushi, Match of the Year candidate on the Cruiserweight Classic, and they, of course, talked that up. But I really like how these guys' styles meshed together in the ring. And a really nice finishing sequence came about when Almas tried to go for the running knee in the corner. But before Alexander popped up, caught him with the lumbar check. Alexander did on Almas for the victory. And at the end, both guys shake each other's hands. That's where I thought Almas might turn on him, but maybe we'll see the turn in a couple of weeks to come. Like I said, I think it could be a solid heel on NXT. But good to see Cedric Alexander make his NXT debut. Hopefully we see him going forward on both NXT and Raw, because that was what I read in that report off WrestleZone a couple weeks ago, saying that these guys, the Cruiserweights will work both Raw and NXT events going forward, so that's a positive win-win. And yeah, I thought this overall closed out what I thought was a solid edition of NXT, and definitely better than the last couple of weeks. So that's why I'm giving this week's edition of NXT a B. It was a solid B show for me from start to finish. So guys, that is my thoughts and opinions on this week's edition of NXT. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys thought of NXT this week. And be on the lookout for my Clash of Champions card predictions video. I will be having that uploaded tomorrow, sometime tomorrow morning. So stay on lookout for that. Of course, remember, please click that like and subscribe button for more video content coming soon to this channel. In addition, I will definitely be bringing you my Clash of Champions live review after the pay-per-view. Should be able to have that up sometime around 11:15 or 11:30. So that's what's on tap for this weekend, guys. Thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you tomorrow for my Clash of Champions card predictions video. Take care, guys.